3, 2, 1.
I want to smack you today. Goodness.
Welcome to ProCASTination.
Go ahead. Be a nerd. Go ahead.
All right. Today, we're talking about relationships.
I'm Lynn.
My least favorite
I'm
subject
Alex.
anymore.
We're not allowed to redo that intro.
I'm Lynn. This is Alex. We have a guest speaker today, John, and this is ProCASTination. And our topic of discussion roundabouts is, what is it, Alex?
Relationships.
Relationships. So, there's that. I've had a pretty good day. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm a therapist. I've actually had 2 really good sessions today that really, I think, made me want to talk about this topic. I had a couple session and then, another person that was working on their personal relationship, sort of individually, but, they have good supports. So, I don't know, this has been like a career goal for me for a little bit, wanting to be more of a couples counselor, like a family counselor, that kind of deal. I don't know. What do people think about relationships? What do you think about relationships, John?
Oh, I could say they're probably the most hardest part about life anymore, trying to keep one going. I think it just takes people who have, what's the words I'm looking for here? Oh, a certain connection to really get things going. But if you just don't have that compatibility, that's probably not a good idea to be with that person.
Looky,
that's what I think about.
Be taught.
Yes.
Yes. This is what we like to hear from you, buddy.
To hear that static, though, Jesus.
You're
I heard my
ruining
own
our
static.
podcast.
I know, how dare I, me and my bad microphone.
Well, that leads us into a good point about, compatibility and whether a relationship is healthy and whether a person is healthy for you individually. Any thoughts about that, Alex?
Well, if a person is healthy for you, you obviously got to fucking be able to communicate with that other person, right? I mean,
yeah, and you have
that's
to.
a big part.
Yeah, and you have to have a personality that matches. I'm not really into astrology or anything, but the concept of astrology, I guess, in terms of matching personalities that complement each other, is very important. Not that you can't have opposite personalities, because opposite personalities can still complement each other.
Yeah,
isn't the saying opposites attract?
Yeah, there is a saying that opposites attract. Opposites don't always attract. We're not magnet people.
Yeah.
But we can be.
But they can't. If I guess it's all about who are you as an individual and what is it that you need and want into your life. So if you are a very quiet, introverted person, but you would like a little more excitement in your life, you're just not really sure how to bring it in, then maybe having somebody that's a little more extroverted that can help you balance that out would be, a really cool idea. At the same time, you don't want somebody so extroverted that they can't chill on the couch with you.
What's up, Klauslo? What's up, Kayla? How you guys doing tonight?
Hey, there's our regular fans.
Me got idea. Me do idea.
Oh gosh, are we talking like
doing?
Neanderthals again?
Yes.
All right.
Unga bunga.
Yeah, there we go.
What'd you do?
I just added a chat box.
Added a chat box.
Yeah, that way people can actually see what people are saying. There we go.
I should probably open that
Kayla
up.
says, "Hiya, Johnny."
Hello. I'm putting it up now, the whole chat stuff, so I can see people too.
All
on
right.
my phone.
So, fun fact for anybody that doesn't know, I am 29, I was 28 when Alex and I got together last year. And until then, I did not have any relationships. I guess there's a couple I'd sort of disqualify. Like I quote unquote dated a guy for about a month, but we were more like just friends. And then after he graduated high school, he just like disappeared. Never heard from the dude again. There was legit my first kiss that was awful. It was like kissing a dog. Didn't like him.
Flat tongue.
Kayla remembers me talking about that. I came to school and I was like crying because I was like, "Oh my god, is this what it's like? It's awful." It's not good. But other than that, and that was like a month. And again, I was like, you know what, we're not doing this, just friends. But both of those things were in high school, and since then, no serious relationships at all. And I was at a point where I was like, you know what? I quit looking. I'm done. I'm not searching for anything. And you hear it all the time. What happens when you say that?
Oh shit! It ends up freaking. It doesn't work if you do it with the intention of finding someone. If you do it, what do you call it? If you do it organically, then then you end up just falling into something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, if you actually are accepting that, hey, you know what? I'm okay by myself. Maybe I don't need that right now. If you do that, you said organically, and not like, hey, if I say I'm not going to try, then I'm going to have a relationship. Bada bing, bada boom. No, it don't work that way.
Yeah, I think a lot of people try to fool themselves, into thinking that they could fool nature, I guess.
Listen, nature is a very funny thing.
Well, that's the thing.
Relationships.
If you legitimately just don't care, then you're not going to jump on the first bandwagon that comes into freaking town,
Right.
That's it. You're not going to be so desperate that you just jump on the first chance you get, and that's where you find the people that you're not really compatible with. Like, I've had plenty of, I'm not going to say plenty of relationships, but I've had significantly more relationships than Lindsay, which is not hard to do, because this is her first relationship. But I can't say that any of them were successful, because I just jumped into the first woman that said go.
Well, you could have phrased that a lot better.
I could have phrased that a lot better. I said into.
Not into the relationship. You said you jumped into the first woman.
I jumped into the first woman.
Which was not the case.
We're using Discord.
Yeah, we're using Discord, Kayla. I was actually... I actually kept my virginity, all right, for a long time.
Yeah. Yep. And that's another thing, like, hookup culture is like, I don't know, kids are getting sexualized earlier and earlier. I had one client, she swore she was asexual, and I was like, all right, yeah, that's fine. Well, even I fell into the trap of thinking, well, if a 14-year-old girl doesn't want to have sex, maybe she's asexual. And then all of a sudden she told me she had some sexual interest in somebody, and I'm like, oh my God. Even I fell into that trap. And it's like, well, why do we expect teenagers, or anybody for that matter, to just automatically want to have sex? That's just not healthy. Just let people do it when they're ready. What is with this pressure to do it all the time?
I mean, you raise a fair point on that, really. But I will say there are some out there that are more sexually active than your average person.
Oh, yeah.
And me being one of them, I can actually say that, I guess.
And that's fine. There's no shame in having, either no sexual interest, moderate sexual interest, or a lot of it, a lot of interest. I think people just kind of tend to put you in a box or say there's something wrong with you if you don't want to do these things. And then especially in a culture that's looking to label everything that's not quote unquote normal. Okay, is there really a need to label it? Just, do you, man.
You're dangerously active, Johnny, says Mom.
Oh, I know I am. I know I am.
Just
I really am. I mean, as of lately, no, that dry spell has been like racking up its time for the past, I don't know, like what, 6 months. But it's all good. That's what I got the hands for.
Kayla says mine wasn't pressure, mine was stupidity and hormones.
well, at least it was genuine interest. That's what matters. Consent. That's what matters. That you come to the conclusion on your own without being coerced, without being pressured, by boyfriends, girlfriends, peers, friends, media, whatever. All that matters is that you come to that decision on your own when you're ready, and you do it safe, and you do it in a healthy manner.
I mean, yeah, you just got to not confuse. You got to realize that sex isn't the only way to bond with someone. There are plenty of other avenues that you could take.
Yeah, like what you've learned about some recently. What are the other ways that you can bond with somebody? He didn't expect to be quizzed.
I didn't expect to be quizzed. Well, you could start with just like innocent touching, looking into their eyes, trying to get some connection going there.
I hear you floundering over there.
I'm floundering because I put the ball in your park and you just threw it right back at me.
I was trying not to monopolize the conversation, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Actually, I had something interesting happen today. I was trying to help somebody come to this. I was trying to teach them bonding with a significant other. It's not just about sex, and in fact, you don't have to have sex at all. There's a lot of people that have either just no desire to do it, or they've had, sexual trauma. So it's really hard for them to get behind that. Just real quick, explanation on bonding. The bonding hormone is oxytocin, and that is released, in various ways. Like oxytocin is the hormone that's released when a woman has a baby. Okay. That's why the pain of childbirth is kind of dulled. You don't remember it as much because, that baby pops out and, you love it. It's cute, whatever, it's yours. You look at its face, you look into its eyes, you smell its baby head, all those things that parents do. And, physical touch and the visual connection that you get by looking at them and looking in their eyes and seeing their smile, that releases that bonding hormone. Breastfeeding your child releases that hormone. Any sort of real physical connection, or at least visual connection, keeps that hormone around. And so I was telling this person about different ways that they could connect even with their significant other, and help increase that bond that has nothing to do with sex. So yeah, a lot of eye contact. There are mirroring exercises you can do. If anybody wants to look that up to help bring that. Kissing for 6 seconds releases that oxytocin as well. So, it's recommended when you have a significant other, kiss them for at least 6 seconds when you leave and when you're reunited. And it doesn't have to be sexual. It can just be, just love.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely important.
You hear no argument from over here.
Taylor says sex is important, but a relationship shouldn't be built on sex, and her past relationship was based on genuine interest. She just learned the hard way. She should have thought it through more. It was just interest in the wrong dude.
Yeah, and that happens to a lot of people too. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not like an unhealthy interest or relationship, but maybe you try it, and the longer things go on, you realize, hey, this isn't working out. And you can decide to try to make it work out, or if you've tried to make it work, if it's not working, then you can leave, and you can find a relationship that is for you.
Exactly. There's always I mean, there's always just like even if you got into a relationship and it was good at first, there's always that chance that shit can just not be right later. And if it's not right for you, there's no shame in looking elsewhere.
Yeah. And the bringing us back to like the don't settle. So many times people are looking for somebody to fix. For one, they want a project. I can save that person. No, you can't. They need to save themselves if they have, an alcohol problem, if they have an anger problem, whatever issues they have, you can't fix them for one. And then two, people that have, been abused, or maybe they've just maybe not had a traumatic past, but they have learned inadvertently that they're supposed to be the self-sacrificial person, and or they've learned to have poor self-esteem. So they choose people who reaffirm their poor self-esteem. Oh, I don't deserve to have a good relationship, so I'm just going to settle for the person that, is mean to me sometimes. Actually, there's an interesting study about, I think it was mice. They kind of studied like a more chaotic, I guess, nest or whatever, one that had like a lot of noise, and one that was quiet. And the mice that were raised in the nest with a lot of noise, if they heard a noise or they heard something bothered them when they were outside the nest, they would still return to the nest that was really noisy and chaotic, because that's what they knew. And people are the same. If you're raised in a chaotic way, you're going to keep looking for things that are familiar, not necessarily things that are healthy.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. A lot of people go to the familiar rather than treading new ground that they might possibly fall on.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people's problem is just being afraid to fall, being afraid to take that first step. What if I fail? And I think part of life is just being okay with the possibility of failure and being okay with just failure in general. It's not always going to be ups, man. You got to have those downs, and you ain't going to ever move forward if you're standing in place.
And there's going to be a lot of, people. I decided to title this, what was it? Relationships. They're not that hard. And that's sort of I know that relationships are hard. There are a lot of work. But if you understand the basis for a healthy relationship, the hard times will be worth it. You'll be able to work through it. And the biggest issue, especially in our culture today, is that communication piece. How do you communicate? How do you resolve conflict? How do you not butt heads? That kind of thing.
Oh yeah, and it ties back into communication. Everything is all about communication, understanding. Holding yourself accountable for your own actions, holding your partner accountable for their share of the blame and shit like that. It's all about don't blame yourself for their problems, and don't blame them for yours. Right. Try to understand where they're coming from, and with understanding comes compromise, and compromise comes peace. I will always preach that.
And I think last time we talked a little bit about, we were talking about brains and the stupid things brains do. And I brought up, I still have my insecurities, and sometimes I react in ways that are not good. I can't always stop myself from, thinking in a certain direction and then therefore having an emotional reaction. And that makes Alex uncomfortable. That makes me uncomfortable. But, we still process that. I still take accountability for whatever my brain is doing, and I let him know what I need. There was one time we had an issue about something, and I think making it worse because I was trying to figure out how to deal with it myself, and I figured out that the problem was through no fault of Alex's. I wasn't feeling emotionally safe for a couple days. just through a series of events. And finally, I realized what happened, and I said, well, I can't feel emotionally safe with you if I don't let you make me feel emotionally safe. I said, I'm not really feeling anything. I just need to cry, and I need you to hold me. And he did. And it was fine. It was perfectly fine. That whole thing got resolved. It was like a 2-day thing where my brain was spiraling, and I finally figured out what I needed. And it was me that was causing the roadblock in the first place.
And sometimes that's hard to see.
Mm-hmm.
You know that there's a problem, and it doesn't really make any fucking sense. And the solution is so fucking simple that you don't really think of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I kept trying to figure it out on my own, but what I needed was to trust him. I just needed to trust him instead of figuring it out on my own. Because I couldn't. You know, if the issue is needing reassurance or needing to feel safe or needing something from another person, you have to communicate that to the person that you need it from, and they need to, you know, reciprocate if they want to, of course.
Yep. Kayla says no relationship is perfect either. So if you keep that in mind, you'll understand more about what's healthy, and what you might want to take a closer look at. Klausla says failures are the best teachers if you keep in mind and remember yourself that they are in the past and need to learn from them.
Yeah, not beating yourself up about making a mistake, because you're always going to, like with everything in life, you're always going to make a mistake. And sometimes, a lot of times, you're going to make mistakes that hurt your partner. And it's important not to continue to beat yourself up over that, but to realize what you've done, to take accountability, to apologize, and to, you know, make a real effort to not repeat that mistake in the future. Because if you love them, you don't want to continue hurting them, and you also don't want to push them away with that, you know, self-fulfilling prophecy of, I don't deserve somebody so good, so I'm just going to push them away.
Exactly. Sometimes it's just easier for people to fucking push people away than blunder and fuck something good up.
Yeah. Most things can be fixed. Even, you know, as much as it is funky to think about, even a relationship where there's infidelity, cheating, even that can be fixed if both parties want to fix it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to ask yourself, is it worth it first? You know?
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, it might just not be worth it. But sometimes you're in a relationship of 20 plus years, someone fucked up like once, and it can be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
It's just usually someone's not getting a certain need. And that certain need is most times like sexual or emotional.
Yeah. You know, it can be a lot of things. Was there a comment that popped up?
Yeah. Klausla said, Kayla said, well said, Lynn. And Klausla said to Kayla, exactly, sometimes I keep hurting myself because I don't let go of some mistakes I made. Everything has a process. Yep,
everything has a process. And when there is conflict, you know, come back when you're calm and discuss it is called processing. In therapy, we will process how the therapy is going to see, is it working? Is it not working? What should we change? What should we keep doing? And you can do that in your personal life too. If something's not working, you can say, okay, why is it not working? And what can we do about that? So it's like the concept of thinking about thinking. It's meta. You have to be kind of meta and back up from your own subjective experience and try to look at your relationship objectively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, once you step away for a minute, calm down, come back. I mean, there's been a few days and stuff like that where we have a problem, and I know Lindsay's upset about something, and I want to settle it right the fuck now. But she needs to step away and calm down first, so I need to temper myself and learn to step back and let her calm down before we have this discussion. So both of us kind of need to calm down in a sense. I need to quit being so anxious, and she needs to step back and compose herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's, people that have different styles of resolving conflict need to meet in the middle. If you have two people that are like, all right, we need to fix this now. Well, great. Good. You can run with that. If you have two people that need time to like back it up and slow down and calm down first, well, good. But when you have somebody that wants to fix things right now, like yesterday, and you have somebody that needs time to process, you really need to find that middle. And again, that comes with some discomfort, because if you're the anxious person that wants to fix things now, you're having to deal with uncertainty. And if you're the person that likes to avoid conflict, well, at some point you have to push yourself forward to address the conflict. Otherwise, it's never going to get addressed, and it's going to get way worse.
Let's see. Kayla says the past can be painful sometimes. Well, painful, sometimes necessarily so. And says, Alex, I totally feel that. Amy and I both struggle with that. I sometimes want to understand and want answers immediately, and other times I need to calm down and clear my head first. I'm just going to mute you for a while, John. There seems to be a bunch of background noise.
So, yeah, and I'm just going to say the safest answer is to give yourself time to calm down. I don't care who you are. That is the safest answer, and you can't go wrong with it. So, even if you want answers right now, do you? Are you really thinking with a clear head? Or can you step back and actually see the bigger picture when you're not so emotionally driven?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thinking about it with a clear head can make you see paths that weren't originally there. Maybe even, the other way around. Maybe it would turn like a hopeless argument into a hopeful one. Or maybe it turns a hopeful argument into a hopeless one. I don't know. Maybe you reflect on it and realize, man, it's not really worth fixing.
Well, right. You don't want to be in a situation where you have that desperation again, and you will just jump at any opportunity to patch it over and be like, okay, no, it's good, it's fine. It might not be fine. So if you rush to patch something that's probably better left crumbled, well, that, you're also just prolonging something that's unhealthy and toxic.
Build a new house. Don't repair an old house that's going to lose you money.
Yeah.
That's it. The Russian Joint. Thanks for the follow, man.
All right. Hey, thank you very much.
That's Benny Bear. All right, Benny Bear. Did you get your background stuff taken care of, John?
Yeah, I would just tell McCoy and Benny Bear to watch the stream.
All right.
All right.
Fucking A. Always welcome.
And when I went out there to tell them that, the furnace kicked on.
Oh, that's great. Always
right?
When you have to record something, shit goes on, man.
Right.
Hey, we're not professionals here.
Yeah, fuck it. We're here to have a good time. That's it.
Well, on the subject of conflict, something else that happens when conflict is like stalemates, where like nobody wants to take accountability, nobody wants to move.
Oh yeah, both parties are being stubborn. Both parties are like dead set that they're right. Ooh. And they're just not budging. What do you do in that situation?
Somebody has to give in. Like, I mean, it could be the case that the people in the relationship don't really care about the relationship, in which case, are you better off staying together or leaving? In that case, I think, you're better off leaving. But in cases where people like really care about each other, it's like, well, what is really the holdup? Like, you love each other. Like, you in other aspects of your life, you support each other. You can't imagine your life without the other person. I mean, you don't want to get rid of them or nothing. But, what's the holdup? I don't know if people just get tired. I don't know if people just really don't want. I think it's honestly that nobody wants to take accountability. You might love somebody, but you're getting in the way of progress because instead of taking accountability and saying, okay, yeah, we both need to work on this and I'm going to take the first step, you say, no, I'm not budging unless they budge. And they're saying, I'm not budging unless you budge. And you don't get anywhere.
Mom says then there are times when there's no right answer and you have to decide if what you see is a problem. What you see as a problem is really that important.
Yeah. And sometimes we make mountains out of molehills, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a bunch of freaking mountains out of molehills. You can argue over the stupidest shit, but at the end of the day, does anything really need to change?
Yeah. What does it matter if Alex wears a shirt that I don't like? It's just a shirt. Like, why would I be like thinking about it? You know, a couple of his shirts, I don't like them. But am I going to make a really big deal out of that? Nah, I might make some funny comments. But in the end, it's his shirt. He can wear the stupid thing if he wants to. It doesn't mean that I don't, my love for him does not hinge on what shirt that he wears. If we go out in public and he wants to dress in sweats and a t-shirt with bleach stains on it, I don't care. Like, my ego is not so fragile that, I'm gonna make him sacrifice his comfort. It's just a day out. What does it matter?
Yeah, yeah. That shirt looks like shit though.
It does.
That was an old work shirt when I still was working for a Porta-John company and stuff. Man, I'd work with bleach every day, and I'd just wear that shirt now. Every once in a while, I'm just like, fuck it, I'll wear it. I got it. Why not?
And it doesn't really matter because, like, I mean, if we're going to like I don't know, like an event where you're supposed to dress up, I mean, I guess that's different. But
yeah. I mean, get on me about that.
last minute, we got tickets to go see Mannheim Steamroller, and he didn't really have time to change, so he had that shirt on and sweatpants, and then we ended up getting we got burgers and some stuff dripped on his clothes. But really, who's there to see us? No one. They're all there to see Mannheim Steamroller. Who gives a crap what we're wearing?
I was in sweats and a stained freaking t-shirt going to go see Mannheim Steamroller, and I mean, we just got ambushed at the last second with that, so it's like there's nothing I could do about it, but still.
Still, I mean, it doesn't matter. So, if you have an issue that, I mean, sometimes you have to really ask yourself, is this a problem, or am I just being, like, stupidly unreasonable and controlling? It's just, and I definitely have an issue, probably a lot more than I want to admit, with trying to control things that really don't matter. I don't know why.
Well, let's see. Something to remember too, says Ma. Nobody is perfect. We are all flawed humans. Is the significant other's flaws something we can live with? And yeah, I mean, I say that all the time. Just like, you gotta weigh, like, you gotta want to be with someone, right? The pros of being with someone have to outweigh the cons. So, you're measuring the flaws, with what they bring into your life. And it's just simply like a balancing act. It's a weighing game.
Yeah, because there's going to be, there's that stereotype. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this image float around on Facebook or whatever social media you have. And it's an old man and an old woman on a bench. And they're clearly mad at each other because they're like looking away from each other and whatnot. They look mad. And it's raining. But the man has the umbrella and he's holding it out over his wife's head. Mm-hmm. That classic image of, I love you, but you can still irritate me.
Exactly. I mean, how many times have I irritated you about this whole chess thing for the past few weeks?
Yeah, I have a rating scale now for, because of his obsessive, like, he has all these interests and he'll just rotate what he's obsessed with for a couple weeks. And, I'm like, on a scale of 1 to 10 last week about how annoyed I was about the chess, I was like, it's about a 4. Like, it's just, I don't know, mildly, but today I was like, it's gone up to like a 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Because, he just, I don't know, on and on. But, I still love him, and I want him to participate in the things that make him happy, and I have to I have to decide, is my want, it's not even a need, it's a want, and it's dumb, is my want to control things, stupid things, is that worth it? Is that more important than his happiness and his enjoyment in life? No, it's not.
Exactly. And you can't really force people to change anything that they don't want to change. Mom's right when she says you can't change someone to fit you. People can only and will change if they want to. Like,
yeah, and if I don't think we should be trying to change people to fit us, because we're not perfect. Sometimes they need to compromise for us, but we also need to change for them. It's all about finding the middle ground. And on things that you're really different on, each person has to do their own work to work toward that middle ground. One of my favorites, I love late 90s, early 2000s country. And one song that I always think of is that song, I'll start walking your way, and you start walking mine. We'll meet in the middle, 'neath that old Georgia pine. We gain a lot of ground as we both give a little. Ain't no walking off, we meet in the middle.
yep.
Now everybody's going to hear my terrible singing.
Oh, that's fine.
But
They hear it like when you're swinging it. Like,
Yep. Yep. No, I
The
don't have
half the
headphones.
town here knows.
No, I don't have any headphones on. But that's it's a story, it's a metaphor in that song, but it's so simple and it's so wholesome and just to the point. You need to do the work to walk to the middle, and so does the other person. If you're not doing that, you're gonna have a lot of problems.
Mom's got a good one. A good saying says, "Strong enough to bend."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds like a paradox, but it's not.
Yeah. Kayla loves your singing voice.
Well, at least one person does. Do I get $20
I don't hate your singing
for a ticket?
voice. I think your singing voice is pretty good.
Okay.
I'll give you another $20.
I got two. I got two tickets sold to
Yeah.
the concert in the backyard.
Boom. As long as you got like one or two people rooting you on, you're good to go.
That's all that matters.
Kayla says, "Love you, girl."
Awesome. Love you too. But yeah, strong enough to bend. And that goes back to Uncle Iroh.
Uncle Iroh.
Uncle Iroh.
Man, he had a saying about what was it?
Are you gonna butcher it?
I'm probably gonna fucking
You're gonna
butcher
butcher
it. You say it.
No, I want to hear you butcher it first.
All right.
Or
Let's
you
see.
can surprise me. I don't know.
Pride is not the antidote to shame, but its source.
All right, you didn't butcher it.
I
All
did
right.
not.
Okay. Yes, pride is not the antidote to shame, but its source. Pride keeps people rigid. Pride keeps them from looking at their own flaws. Pride says, I'm always right. And when you do get slapped in the face with reality that you're not always right or that you make a mistake, it hurts. It tears you down. And then you get defensive. Then you get defensive and stick to your guns because nobody wants to feel stupid. And that just, that creates a wall. So yeah, you have to be strong enough to bend. You have to be flexible. And because it's like that crying paradox. Is it harder to cry in front of people or to not cry in front of people? Well, it's harder to cry in front of people because nobody wants to be seen as weak. So paradoxically, if you cry in front of people, I think that makes you strong. If you're not afraid to cry in front of other people, it's the same concept.
Yep, exactly. They're counting up the tickets now. You got 4 tickets sold.
I got 4 tickets. All right.
4 whole tickets.
Oh,
You doubled your audience.
I'm gonna go toe to toe with Taylor Swift pretty soon. What was that? Like people couldn't buy Taylor Swift tickets or some garbage a month or 2 ago.
Did no one show up or
I
something?
don't know what happened there. I don't know if Ticketmaster effed up. I don't know. I just know that people couldn't buy Taylor Swift tickets. That's all I know. They were very coveted and very expensive.
See, being very versatile goes a long way in life. And Kayla says, "Yep, I still hate crying in front of others."
Yeah, well, work on that. Come over here. I'll make you cry.
Get on it, girl. I'll make you cry.
I'll make you cry. Oh, God, we're not going 50 Shades here. Okay.
She feels very safe.
What did he say? Did he say something, or did
He
just
laughed.
laugh?
He just
laughed. Okay.
We're going full 50 Shades in this bitch. Vinny makes her feel safe, but Lindsay, ooh, she's dangerous.
Yeah, you tag me in all the posts about how I'm the asshole friend that tells you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear.
Oh, shit. Be strong enough to share your emotions. The right people will still be around even if you do, says Ma.
Yep. You don't want those people that think they're too school. I was thinking too cool for school, but that's not what I'm going for.
Too school for cool.
No, you don't want those people around that think they're too cool to feel emotion. Like, no, we don't want the bad boy, okay? That's a terrible trope. Let's get it out of here. We want our Zuko that's not afraid to feel, but is still awesome.
Yeah, exactly. You could be awesome and cry.
Yeah, you can be awesome and cry, and everybody loves you because girls, I don't know, there's still women that, look down on men for crying, but the younger the generations go, I think the more people are okay with men crying, which is great.
Yeah, I was once told I was too nice and too emotional for a relationship, and I was like, "What? Okay, so I'll be the asshole then. Hey, come here, give me the belt."
Yeah, too nice versus the asshole. I had a conversation with a client about that too. He's like, I've just been too nice. I'm sick of it. I just might as well be the asshole. I'm like, whoa, buddy, back it up, because there's a spectrum here. So, what do you think too nice of a person looks like? What do you think that looks like if somebody's too nice, John?
That's the thing. I really don't know because my vision on niceness apparently is different from other people's niceness. My niceness is like, hey, I'm a be all civil or chival, whatever you want to call it.
Chivalrous?
I'm going to like chivalry ain't dead, I guess. Like, I'm going to be there for when you need a shoulder to cry on. I'm going to talk to you when you're down at your lowest. I'm going to be the guy to hold up on the door for you. I'm going to be the guy to hold the umbrella up for you. I'm going to be the guy to take a bullet for you. But apparently that's being too nice.
And what does an asshole look like, John?
Somebody that beats their significant other. Somebody that doesn't care what their emotions are. Somebody who doesn't give a flying fuck if that person lives or dies.
Yeah, so on the one hand, you have somebody that's so nice and so caring, they think about everybody but themselves is often the qualifier there. They think of everybody but themselves. And on the opposite end of that spectrum is somebody that cares only about themselves. So oftentimes, people don't know what the middle of that looks like. They don't know what healthy middle looks like. And it looks like a person that takes care of themselves, first and foremost, not in a selfish way, but, they make sure that, their emotional needs are taken care of, that they're being treated right, that they are eating right, and they're doing things to keep themselves healthy. But they have boundaries. They don't give in to what other people want all the time. If somebody's like, hey, I need $20. Hey, I need $20. Hey, and you always give them the $20, but they never reciprocate. They never show appreciation. If they can't pay back the $20, a good friend or, somebody that you're in a relationship with or whatever, they'll at least do something to give back to you. If they can't repay the $20. That's not saying you do stuff with the intention to get something in return, but you can't pour from an empty cup. If you just give and give and give to the people in your life, well, guess what? The assholes are going to find you, and they're going to take advantage of that. So you need to have boundaries and say, I know what I deserve. I know what I can give and what I can't give. And make it a point. You know, if you have somebody that's always bumming money, but you know for a fact they have money to buy frivolous things, then maybe you need to tell them no. And then they're going to be forced to use their money more wisely to buy the things they need and not something that they don't need.
Exactly. Boundaries is super important to keep people from treading all over you.
Yeah. Yeah, and too many people, I hear this all the time. I ask people what their strengths are. They always tell me I put everyone else above myself. And I'm like, oh God, no, I don't know where this martyr culture comes from, but it needs to die. The martyr culture needs to be a martyr and die. It's like, I always think of that classic image of, you know, the man and the woman walking, and there's a mud puddle, and the man takes off his nice, clean white jacket and puts it over the puddle so that the woman can walk across it.
Exactly.
But what that's stupid. What should the woman do instead? She should
walk around.
Yeah, she should walk around the stupid puddle. Like, there's no need.
Or jump over it.
Or jump over it. Stop being such a sissy.
Yeah, I mean, after you mess up a couple times, Kayla, it's just like, sometimes you just need to learn the lesson the hard way, you know? You know, you said after your 12-year relationship that left you emotionally fucked up. Let's see. Oh, never mind. You were talking to Mom with that. Yeah, but yeah, sometimes you need to screw up a couple times before you finally learn that lesson.
Yeah, another client told me with every failed relationship, she learns better what she wants and doesn't want in a relationship.
Klausla says, steps to be an asshole. 1, agree to do 1,000 favors. 2, refuse to do the 1,001st.
That's good. That's the nice guy's version of an asshole, isn't it?
Exactly. Nice guy's version is like, if I stop doing everything for everyone, I'm going to be an asshole.
Yeah, it's like, no, like, you know, if I had this conversation with somebody like yesterday or the day before, they always watch their family's dogs when they go on vacation or whatever. And I was like, well, that's not to say you can never watch their dogs ever again. But, like, maybe you can watch their dogs sometimes, and other times, if they have the money to go on vacation all the time, well, they have the money to board the dog. You know, like, you can watch your grandchildren. That's fine. I'm sure grandmothers and grandfathers love to do that. But do you want to be the babysitter that just gets taken advantage of because you're free labor? Nah. Nah.
What are you gaining out of this, man?
Yeah, I mean,
what do they give you? Is it worth it?
I mean, are they, you know, it's just, it's too much. It's, hey, don't make grandparents raise grandkids. That's just awful.
Oh, like my mom said, if she ever had grandkids from me or McCoy or my little sister, that if we need her to babysit them, she's wanting compensation. I agreed to it. I'm like, yeah, I'll pay. Yeah, I'll pay you like $20 or something like that. I'll throw some food money your way or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, even something like compensation, like financially and shit like that. That's being helpful to your life, you know.
Well, yeah. Let's be real here. Kids aren't a cakewalk. You know, if you're gonna put your kids with somebody, you need to compensate them somehow for that.
Especially nowadays, kids. I swear to God, they just need a good spank on the ass of the belt.
Okay, we're gonna keep this. We're gonna roll that back a little bit, John.
You can't say that shit nowadays. You want CPS to burst down your door, or FBI open up, you know, like.
Well, we can.
Oh, yeah. Subject change because I have some comments about all that.
I just.
Kayla agrees with you.
I don't disagree with you. I just think that can go down a path we probably don't want to tackle. But. You know, I guess backing up, It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to say no. And the cool thing, if we're talking about more paradoxes, the really needy people that always ask you for things and never give anything back, they're really needy. And if you tell them no, well, what are they going to do? Leave? No, because they need you.
Exactly.
So they're going to be mad. Are they going to be mad? Yes. It's like taking your toddler to the store. And every time you go, they're like, "Mommy, can I have a toy?" And you're like, "Well, yeah, sure, honey. Go get a toy." So they go pick out a dinosaur or a car or a Barbie doll, whatever. But then one day you go to the store and you don't have money for extra things. So they say, "Mommy, can I get a toy?" And you say, "No, I'm sorry, honey. We don't have the money for that today." What are they going to do?
Why? Why? Why
Exactly.
the toy? Why?
Exactly. And adults are just big toddlers. And they're going to do the same thing. So if they're used to getting their way, and then because you taught them that, let's put the blame where it belongs. You taught them that you were going to give them everything. So when you finally tell them no and you set the boundary, they're going to get mad, and they're allowed to get mad.
Proud. You never do anything for me, man. Such a bad friend.
So you're going to find out who your friends are, for one. You're going to find out who the people are that actually care about you, because if they leave, then they don't care about you. But if they stick around, you know, you still hold value to them. For whatever reason, it could be healthy, it could be unhealthy. But the needy people are going to stick around, I promise you. They're going to get mad, but they're not going anywhere. Because if they could get what they needed from somewhere else, they would have just done it by now.
Mom's getting me back for doing this in the past. Lay on the floor and kick and scream when you say no, right, Alex?
Yeah.
Right, like I used to. Kayla says there's two types of needy. There's the takes but doesn't give back, and then there's the ones that try to give more than they get.
The ones that never give back, and the ones that try to take more than... Yes, that's right. You got the ones that are just like, "Oh, thanks, bye." And they probably don't even say thanks, or if they do, they don't mean it. And then there's the ones that are like, "Yeah, you've given me all this, but I need more." And that's even harder, because then you're trying really hard to appease that person, and
You simply can't.
you simply can't. It's like, no, you can't.
Plenty of times in life that where that happens, especially if you have like really strict parents or some shit, like, wants you to go to medical school and be a doctor strict.
Oh, yeah, no.
So sometimes the way you want to live your life is not the picture that your parents or your significant other painted for you.
Yeah, and if that's the case, and that person's not willing to, check themselves, if I really wanted to, which I don't, I'm sure I could let the controlling part of my brain ruin my relationship with Alex. I'm sure I could let it happen if I wanted to. I'd have to really go to extremes, because that's just not who I am. But I know that if I fed that part of myself, it would drive him away. He would be like, "I told you I didn't want a yes, ma'am kind of relationship. So I'm out." It'd be super easy if I wanted to do that. But I don't want to do that. So, keep an eye out for people that just want more from you than you can possibly give, because both of you aren't being honest with yourselves. You're not being honest with yourself because you're seeing somebody that wants you to be more, and you should know that you can't be everything another person wants you to be, and they're not being honest with themselves because obviously you're not what they're looking for.
Yep. We misunderstood Kayla earlier. She said the second type of needy tries to give more than they get. She's given an example. She says, "Vinny and I are both needy. We need love and affection and attention, but we both love giving it back to each other as well."
Okay, gotcha. So there's, I guess, the need that just, if your needs are the same, you can't get enough of each other, I think is what you're saying. Or you can't get enough of the thing that's fulfilling you, but you're both like that. So it doesn't cause a conflict. And that's especially true at the beginning of a relationship. The other person's so new and interesting, and oh my God, it's mushy gushy, and you're all about that. So that's something that's especially stronger at the beginning of relationships.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially at the beginning. Yeah, after about a year and a couple of months, I kind of hate being around her for more than a few days at a time.
You really want kicked in the nuts today, don't you? No. I'm kidding.
What was that?
That bass of yours will go to soprano real quick.
Yeah, I had to mute your mic because it was having some freaking audio glitches or something, so...
Yeah, like I said, my headset isn't exactly brand spanking new, so I have to just adjust it every so often, otherwise I get that.
Kayla says, keep digging, Alex.
Keep digging.
She says, that's 100% true. We can't get enough of each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've kind of deduced. What you doing? Well, Vinny, I'm like, oh no.
We'll get you a shovel and maybe toss you a rope ladder. Well, I just use the rope to hang myself, so...
Oh my god. Oh no. We need our own relationship counseling already. I don't know. What's it like being with a therapist?
A lot of these conflicts and shit like that, it's a lot easier to deal with because you're a lot more self-aware than most people. A lot of people, they would have the same problems that you have, but they wouldn't know how to navigate it. So it would need a lot more external help, probably from me. So, I don't know, it's just less work.
It's less work.
It's less work. You deal with your own shit. I don't have to fucking think for you,
You're not leaving me, right?
No.
No. We're not on the rocks. This is our sarcasm. We do this all the time. But maybe a bit of a lighter topic to sort of end with as we come to a close. We're probably close to an hour or around about.
A little over an hour, yeah.
A little over. Plus our test stuff. Quick thoughts on gender roles in a relationship. That's a fun topic.
All right. Well, while they're thinking about that, my thoughts on gender roles is they should be non-existent.
They should be non-existent.
I don't think that a boy... There should be a stereotypical way a boy or a girl should have to act or be.
Or things that they should do.
Or things that they should do. I don't really think there's any sort of stereotype that should be put to any of that. I think whether or not you're a boy or a girl, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. I mean, like, for example, stereotypic, the guy is going to be killing the spider while the girl is up on the chair screaming her head off. No, that's the other way around with me. I'm the one screaming on my head off while the girl is killing it.
Yeah, exactly. I was like that way with wasps, man. Mom would come into the room and fucking kill all the wasps and shit. And I'd be like, don't sting me, oh god.
Well, now all of us got stuck on my ass by one, too.
Kayla says it doesn't matter to me. Vinny loves getting doors for me, and we take turns paying when we can. We also do that because we both work. It's nice when you both have, like, an income.
Yeah. The door thing, like, I feel like I hold the door open more for you, but I think you just literally don't think about things. It's not that you don't care that you wouldn't if you thought about it, but I don't think it crosses your mind to do quote unquote chivalrous things. Doesn't bother me. I just think it's funny. I also had to, like, going back to one of our first discussions in this podcast, I had to tell him my cues for when I wanted to have sex.
Yeah, straight up had to tell me. I was clueless.
I had to, I'm like, I had to explain the difference between, like, whether I'm just cuddling or, like, when I'm instigating, sex. I'm like, how do you not know this? But hopefully he gets it now. I thought that was hilarious.
Subtleness was never your strongest suit there, Alex.
I
have some stories.
She wasn't even being subtle. That's the thing. I just got confused because in my brain it's a very subtle shift. But now that I've been quizzed on it and I'm a master, it's not as subtle as I originally thought it was.
Yeah, don't assume. I guess don't assume that the other person should know what you want. If they're not getting it, don't play the mind games. I know I can still fall into that trap a little bit, but I at least, try to correct it. So if they don't know something, just tell them. Like, it's really not going to hurt anything to just tell them. Jeez.
Let's see. Back to the topic of gender roles. Mom says when something needs done, it shouldn't matter the gender, but the skill level to deal with the situation.
Yep.
Klausla says my GF is the one in charge to deal with the bugs. Yeah.
You know, I was thinking household chores, and we went bugs and spiders, and
Exactly.
that's
household
hilarious.
chores like dishes and laundry and fucking fixing shit around the house and shit like that. I mean, that goes back to what Mom said,
Yeah.
you know, the skill level to get it done.
Yep.
Mom says I don't do obvious well. I take after Dad. Kayla says Lynn to instigate sex. Step 1, rip off man's clothing and yours. Step 2, use your imagination.
Imagination. Goodness.
Mom says that's blatantly obvious, but that works to Kayla.
You know, there's sometimes I don't want to be like super direct, because it's like I don't know, I don't want to be like rude or just gross or something. Like I don't know. Plus, if I'm super direct, sometimes my brain just shuts down. If I try to go straight to the point on something, my brain just goes zoop, it's all gone. I'm like, great, thanks. Thank you.
Dick sometimes.
My brain sucks. So I just try to be
I'd rather... Oops, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I'd rather have people, like, be brutally honest with me. Like, hey, John, what? Let's fuck. All right. Or, hey, John, let's go to the movies. All right.
You, me, clothes off. Good, what was it?
Oh.
God damn it. What's it called? Good
pump.
Good pump.
Glad
yeah.
pump.
Glad pump.
Glad
Yeah.
pump, not sad pump.
John, you, me, clothes off. Glad pump now.
God, don't say that to him again. No. Don't fulfill his imaginary wishes.
No, he said it. I'm gonna do it now. Okay,
No.
we're doing this, Alex.
No. I think
You want the
we're
camera
going,
on or off?
I think we're going too far down a rabbit hole here. Still trying to keep. I didn't expect you to go so blunt with that. I was trying to keep this at least at a level that if any of my clients or coworkers see this, it's not like damaging to my career.
I don't think.
I
said
what's
shit.
so damaging
You
to
didn't
your
say
career?
shit, I
We're the
said
ones
shit.
that saying it.
Oh, goodness sakes. All right, well, reeling it back. Okay, so tell your partner.
I mean, I'll reel it back, alright?
Tell your partner what you need and want. Break it down to the most fundamental level. Let's go to building blocks for toddlers if you need to. And as far as gender roles, I think, best person for the job needs to do it. So if the cook happens to be the woman, well, so be it. She's not in the kitchen because she's a woman. She's in the kitchen because she knows how to cook. So, hey, but yeah, division of labor is important as long as everybody's comfortable with the arrangement.
Yep.
But I guess we don't want to go too much longer here. We wanted to keep it around an hour, and we didn't have any real technical difficulties this time. Any
Except on my end.
Any closing remarks for us, John, on relationships?
I mean, you're really talking to the wrong guy about relationships. I mean, I've had my more than fair share of failing relationships and failed attempts at relationships.
That's why we invited you, because we have we're kind of the straight men here, and you're the guy who's had the bad examples.
Yeah, bad examples. Let's see. Oh, Jesus Christ, there's so many of them. I don't know where to start. Let's just say, if they're looking at, how do I want to word this? I don't know how to word this. Bad examples.
Well, you don't have to give your whole...
There's so many. His brain is
There
absolutely
really
flooded with
is.
examples. He can't choose.
There really is, like, just pick up on the what's the word I'm looking for here? Pick up on the hints really. If they're not interested, I guess is a way of putting it. I really don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, they'll show you if they're interested or not. The ironic part about this whole thing is that the relationship that Alex and I have, I mean, we still have our flaws, of course, like any relationship, but it is probably the healthiest relationship I can possibly imagine. And John is the one that set us up. But John cannot find this for himself.
Listen, the way I see it when it comes to me in relationships and other people in relationships, I can get people laid. I can't get myself laid. I have to be on my knees begging.
It's not about getting laid. You're looking at it.
I know. I know what you're meaning. I know what you're meaning, but that's just how I word it. I can get people in a relationship, but I can't get myself in a relationship. How's that?
You love Alex. Better? You guys are like brothers. You want good things for Alex. And really, who wouldn't? And you knew me, I guess, enough to know that I was a decent person, and you must have liked me somehow. How, I don't know. So you must have thought, hey, Alex is a nice guy. You know, that might work for her too. So you set up good people with good people. You need to set you, good people, up with another good people. Don't pick trash people.
You're not wrong. And Aunt Rhonda, I can't understand what the word is after isn't, because everything's all starred up. So.
Oh, okay. Your problem isn't getting laid, Johnny. It's finding the right one for you.
Oh, it doesn't like the word laid,
okay.
Does it?
No, it's not blocking it. I don't understand why it's starred.
Oh.
Yeah, it's blocking it on mine for some reason. Like, a lot of the conversations is why I haven't exactly responded to them is all starred.
Wow, that's strange. Why would that be the case?
Weird.
Right? I mean, I'll send you a screenshot of it to give you an example what I'm seeing here later.
Kayla says she tells you that all the time.
Well, I think we've about hit our past our time limit here. But we do thank John for coming on and kind of being our guest speaker. And we've had Klausla and Kayla and Mama Bear giving us some live feedback as well. Can't have everybody on chat, I guess. I haven't figured out how to do that. But having the more people that come along, the better our chats. I think this was probably the best chat.
Yeah, exactly. The more people chatting, the more we can engage with the audience, the better the episodes get. So tell your friends, get them in here every freaking Friday around anywhere from like 6 to 8 o'clock.
Yeah, somewhere around there. We really probably need to set a set time. But
wait, today's Friday?
Yeah, today's Friday.
Today's Friday.
Fuck, I'm thinking today's fucking Sunday.
No. God, you're off. So yeah,
I need more alcohol, Jesus.
You need less alcohol.
I haven't had any. That's why I need more.
So yeah, I mean, this is, I guess, the end of our third episode of ProCASTination. What are we going to do next week? No idea. Just stay tuned.
She brainstormed that today.
Well, technically I brainstormed that one last week, too.
I'm probably good at now. Okay. The procrastinate. That's clever. I just got that. I was sitting here staring. Dude, I was sitting here staring at it for like a good 10 minutes, just wondering what the fuck does that mean? And then now that you said it out, okay, I get it. That's clever.
That's fantastic. That's great.
That's a good ending. All right, so
we can't end it any better than that. Check it. Check this out on my YouTube channel, LimWolf7. Tell your friends to check it out. You have already checked it out. And I guess we'll see y'all again next Friday. Maybe we'll pick another guest speaker. So if anybody wants to be guest speakers, also let us know that.
Kayla, we'll get you in next week.
We'll get you. How about, we'll do that. We'll get Kayla in next week as guest speaker.
Kayla's hurt that she couldn't get in this week, but we'll get her in next week.
All right. Okay, so In that case, I hope everybody has a good rest of their Friday evening, good weekend, good MLK Day, and we will see you next week on ProCASTination.
ProCASTination. She's Lynn.
I'm not gonna live
I'm
that one
Alex.
down, all right?
Signing out. Yeah. I have to do it every week.
Every time.
Every
God.
week.